Hi, good evening. Welcome to Mike at Night. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. And we are always happy to have you all every Thursday around this time where we are on for this program. My name is Michael Stewart, and we really try it as much as possible when it comes to relationships, when it comes to trying to improve and develop you. As you develop into relationships, we try to make things better for you. We feel that a number of people have been messing up in relationships. We don't guarantee that we know how to get everything right, but one of the things that we go doing to tell you is that we'll try to give you the best advice and the best information that you can. Nobody could really make it perfect. So glad to see you all. If you are a first time person on this program, please just let us know so that we can heal you, recognize where you are from. And here's what I want you to do: share the live, share the live, share the live. Call somebody, send it on your page, send it on your profile. Let them know that we are on. This is Mike at Night. You have it on my Facebook page, you have it on the Label, LABL, Label TV Network. You make sure that you also press subscribe so that every time label goes live you can be able to get them, and also press like on my page, Michael Stewart. And whenever we have a program, whenever we have something going on, you will be able to get some information on it. Let me just hail out some people on Facebook who are now joining us. Carolyn Garraway, good night, good evening. Elon Gooden, always here with us, always happy to have you. My good friend Edward Jones, good evening to you, my boy. Vera Ropa, good evening. And my dear sister, Deanne Robinson Stewart. Yes, sir. All right. So, we have a number of other people. I only hear out those who mention some things that I don't want, those who probably don't want to be noticed. Once they don't say anything, I really don't hail them out because we want them to have their own privacy. Okay, so what we're going to talk about this evening is that we are going to talk about why are some women rethinking feminism? Why are some women rethinking feminism? And I tell you, some women are indeed rethinking feminism. And some of them claim that they were feminist. Not anymore, because they don't think that it is working in their best interest. We're going to talk about some of those things. It's going to be an exciting evening. Just make sure you share the live. Monica Voicen, good evening to have you. Nice having you. All right, so all of you people. So when we come back, there are some videos I'm going to show you, and there are some true stories that I will give you why there are so many women, more and more women, rethinking this thing. But let's go to the advertisement first. Let's pay some bills, and then we'll be right back on Mike at Night.
Don't let the weather of the day dictate your pace. I stayed cool every time I got into my vehicle, and you can too. At Tow School Center of 31 Gaskin Bay Road, Bonaccord, they specialize in auto air conditioning with parts and services catering to your car's needs. Call and ask for tows at 660-8777 or 788-3535. Tow School Center, where a comfortable ride is a cool ride.
Hey, if you are having difficulty in your marriage or in your relationship and you need someone to speak with privately and confidentially, then call me, Michael Stewart. We can do face to face or virtually any part of the world. If your relationship is worth saving, call 868-688-5363 or go to my website www.michaelstewart.com. Don't wait until it's too late. Get counseling. Well, you know, counseling always helps. It is good tune-up for your vehicle called relationship. All right, let me talk to you about this upcoming program, How to Rewire Your Brain. How to Rewire Your Brain. Let me tell you, um, we all have habits. These habits that we have is what determine how we come across to other people. Some people, their habits are unconscious. They are not aware that they're doing the things that they're doing, but yet it is not doing anything good for their own relationships. So a lot of time we have to rewire the brain to find out what is it that we are doing automatically that we should be changing and changing the relationship quality that we have. That program is coming up, and that program is on the 5th of November. It's a Saturday. It starts at 6 o'clock. So even if you are a Sabbath keeper, you have time to join this. It's at 6 o'clock and runs till 7:30. It is quite affordable because it is $150 TT and $30 US. So we expect that you will be able to afford that. I'm sure you could afford that, and come on board to be able to know how to improve things. Yes, because as we said, it is in your unconscious. Go to our website, www.michaeletstewart.com, and register. And then, of course, you've got to pay the cost, and we're going to have you registered. It is going to be a discussion. It is a virtual program. We're going to have a nice discussion around it. There's another program that we have coming up also in November, and this one is November the 12th. This is the following week, which is November the 12th. We did this program on this discussion actually on this program already. The program is the psychological effects of being single too long. But a number of people wrote me on it, a number of people spoke about it and said that it opened up the eyes to a lot of things. But of course, 1 hour, we don't have enough time to be able to do it here. And we don't have the interaction and the discussion. This also is another virtual program, and we are going to have this. All of our programs generally are on Zoom. So whichever part of the world you're in, you can participate in. And this one, we're going to have our discussion and be able to help you to understand what those who have studied it, the psychologists say, what are some of those attitudes and behaviors that we tend to develop for being single too long, and how that makes it difficult to get into a relationship with somebody who has been single for too long. Is it wrong being single? No, we are not saying that. We are saying when you are single for too long, there are some issues that come to the fore that you've got to be conscious of. All right, good, nicely. So we got that out of the way. Now let's get down to some brass tacks. Get down to some business. I hope that you've called somebody and tell them be on for us this evening. The mic man is late. Who is that? No man, Elon, you can't be talking about me. All right. Alison, good evening to you. Charmaine Jofield, nice having you. Charmaine Boyce also. Good evening. Eva, nice. Wonderful having you all. And by the way, the poll question is up. Make sure you answer the poll question. The poll question is going to ask you, you follow the poll question and make sure you start answering it even from now. But we want to know if you think feminism has gone too far. And as the discussion goes ahead, you're going to see. All right, let's go to the first video and let's hear what you have to say.
All men, I'm saying incompetent men.
But
and I think a lot of women can run things better.
If women were more competent, why didn't they do it? If women were better at it, why aren't they in those positions? There's nothing stopping them.
There is a lot of things stopping them. The whole thing is that society is stopping them.
No,
society also doesn't want women.
Even
everyone here saying women can't run things, that's not people that are going to vote for women to be president. Imagine how many people are in this room.
Okay, again, that's not true because more women vote than men. Women make up the majority of votes. There are more women on the planet than men.
In the UK, are you saying?
On the planet?
Everywhere. No, but I'm
saying
in
the UK and the US, correct? Yes. So this we can't run because people won't vote for us. But there's more women voting. But we even recognize ourselves that women don't make the best leaders.
What do you think women would do differently from men? Why they would make better leaders?
You seem to have a lot of pent up anger towards men.
I'm not angry. I'm never saying all men. I'm saying certain men. Like I feel like if Jeremy Corbyn was running the country would be in a lot better state.
What if we did that with race? Do you think people would feel this type of way about it?
Wait, I don't
If
know
you
what
said
you're
like a
saying.
certain race, so if you said not all of this race, but a lot of this race doesn't run the country well.
But race enters like an ethical background. I'm talking about a gender background.
Yeah, but I'm saying like I'm wondering why is one okay but one isn't? It seems like.
You know how we know whether we're in a patriarchy or a matriarchy? It's by who do we cater to more.
Yeah, who do you think understands the other gender more? Do men understand women or do women understand men?
You go to the Scandinavian countries, right? Scandinavian countries, the most egalitarian countries that are on the planet, right? Where men and women are more equal. They done these studies. They said men and women are more equal. You have the right to choose exactly what you want to choose. Do you know what happened? They became more divided because the men went to certain industries and women went to certain industries. Men went to the STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Women went to healthcare, social care, stuff
having
like that.
Babies.
Just goes back to nature.
So even when women get the chance to do the same things that men can do, they don't do it.
There you have it. That's the first video. And I want you to give me your feedback in the chat. I would want to read your chat. If you like, you can call us at 688. Well, let's give you the code for if you're calling outside. It is 868-688-5363. That is 868-688-5363. I would love to hear from you. So if you are going to give us a call on WhatsApp, we would love to hear your feedback on it. You don't have to agree with what is being said. We just need you to be able to say your candid view on it. So in this, and also those on Facebook, please share it so that I could read it out for you, so that we could get what you think about that first video that we sent. What came out there is this evidence that is coming out, that a number of people just blindly support feminism only because it has something to do with females. I have no idea as to why. So somebody, and what brought out, even while she's talking about them, women make better leaders. Under what basis are you saying this? Just because she's a woman. And so the gentleman is trying to ask her, what is the measuring tool? What did you use to determine that the woman is going to do different from a man in leadership? Clearly, she had no idea. And I remember that recently when there was a march for our independence, just in August, I think it was. Well, yeah. And the march was taking place. And so all the military teams are coming down. And then a group of military women were marching. Some of them were men in the previous marches, some were mixed and so on. And this group of women coming down. But this is not the end of the march. This is just the first set of groups in the march. And from the time this group of women came down, a woman shouted out, "Yay, women are the best." What made them the best? They were marching just like everybody else. It is just that there is a group of women. What made them the best? Nothing. The others came after, the others were just as great. All of them good. So you have this mentality that says, as long as it's a woman, it's at the top. So she says that a woman makes the greatest lead, the better leaders. But the feminism thing is so sharp, and I'm not condemning feminism. I am saying that feminism seems to try to disconnect anything that has to do with a man and feel that nothing that a man does is good. Something that the men made a mistake with years ago is that we had what we call a boys' club. Everything male and masculine. Women condemn that. They used to say that it's a boys' club, and I support that. It is really that you should not have this boys' club that only just because it's a male, it has to be good and so on. But here's what they've done. They've infiltrated our Boy Scouts, the Boys Brigade, they've infiltrated every institution or grouping that a man has and say, we need to be part of it. This kind of boys club cannot operate. But now we have a girls club where there are so many groupings of women that can have things for women. But now there's very little or nothing for men. You see? So it's as though there is a dismantling that is taking place that we have to be careful of. And I don't want anybody leaving here and saying Michael Stewart is against women or is against women championing things for women. I love women. I feel women are great, but I don't support the kind of excesses that are taking place. And now, very women themselves, and this woman who interrogated her on it, called her out that you are saying that women don't have a chance in leadership in an election. And she was able to point out there are more women voters than men. How come the women don't get into leadership if you have more women on the earth and on the planet than you do have men? Yeah. So I want you to give me your feedback. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you just be candid about it, what you think. And let's interact on it. So that's video number 1. Make sure you share the live, people. Let's go to video number 2.
I am all for female equality. I was the only girl on my football team growing up. I am a rapper in a male-dominated industry. I have a career in a male-dominated industry. I run my household, pay all my bills by myself, have my own vehicles, and manage everything on my own. But I also know that God did not design my life to be this way. I was not meant to manage everything on my own. I was not meant to be the nurturer and the disciplinarian of my children. I was not meant to be the provider and also the homemaker, and I'm aware of that. And it's my own decisions that have brought me here, and it's my own acceptance of the lies that I was taught in this society. Teaching men that they are not in fact the spirit heads of their households, that they are not the leaders of their households. We are shaming them for standing up in their masculinity and making decisions that would change and lead their families, and that's wrong. You know what I want more than anything in life is to have a man that spiritually leads me and my household. Why? Because I'm in that position, because I have to. And I realized that I was designed to do other things, that I was designed and powerful in other ways. And I'm tired of managing it all on my own. I'm tired of being with men that I have to raise up spiritually because this society told them that wasn't their place. And because this society discouraged them from being masculine. And now I'm in a position where I have to take on a male and female role and act as if somehow I should be managing both. Am I capable? Certainly. But should I really be? No, I don't want to. We need to start encouraging men to stand firm in their spiritual positions so we can stand firm in ours. And I feel like if that happened, we would see way less broken families. We would see a stronger spiritual society, and we would be seeing a lot of healing. I pray that that happens in my life, and if not, so be it.
There you heard it.
Hello.
Only women going to be talking on this issue here this evening. On the videos, I'm showing you that women are beginning to rethink this thing. Yes, caller. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
All right.
Michael, beautiful program.
Thank you very much.
And yes, I think that feminism in itself would have gone a bit too far, and I'm seeing that even in different quarters you're hearing that women themselves are also kind of concerned with where it's going. It's like it's a good example of this is like there's a house on fire. And feminism is like the water that is outing the fire. So it has a purpose at one point in time. And yes, we agree that women need to have better working conditions. They're supposed to be recognized more. But then there's a point in the outing of the fire when the fire is no longer a threat to the house. But you keep dousing the house with fire. What begins to happen is that the surroundings start to get destroyed. So the very thin water that you use to out the fire is now starting to destroy the environment around the house. So the point that I'm trying to make is that feminism can be looked at like that if it's not managed properly. If it's substituted by hate, if it's substituted by gender abuse, by the power that feminism has and the power that it has created, people can get now lustful and pumped up on that particular power and push for things that now turn around to be abusive.
Yeah.
Right? And we have so many examples of it in our jurisprudence, in our law, in how we treat our boys in the school environment. And reference to our young ladies in sport, right? The call, just on news tonight, there's a call for women footballers to be paid as much as men, although nobody watches women's football, right? But they still want them to be paid as much as men.
Well, not nobody. They don't get as many viewers, and many of these sports are really driven by your viewership.
Yes. Well, when I say nobody, it's like less than 1%.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is that it's very little. So it speaks to not understanding, and they want equality in many cases of outcomes, not necessarily equity, and that's where the problem is.
Okay. All right.
Thank
Nice.
you.
Thank you very much. All right. So those who wish to call, you can call at 868-688-5363. Just as that caller, it's WhatsApp and it is free, so you can call. So that's what that video the lady was talking about. She said, I've been independent. I can do things. I can do everything and so on. But I want, she said she has been a feminist. And given how much she understands now, he said, no, I don't want that again. I'm giving it up because it's not working. And I remember there was a lady who has been a very successful woman. She has hit her 60s and she looked back at her life and she was telling me, she said, Mike, I have lived a very successful life. I have amassed wealth. I have risen to the top of the corporate ladder. I own my own company. I'm my own CEO. And she says she spent so much time proving that she as a woman could do all of this. Now that she's 60, she said she feels she has run most of the men in her life. And she fell in love with a gentleman, and the gentleman left. But the gentleman left and said that she is concerned so much of proving how independent she is, talking about how much she owns and how much she has, that he's not sticking around for that. And it is when he walked that it struck her. And she said, I've spent too much time trying to prove myself that I was not building relationship. And she said, I regret it. She said, what I would not give Mr. Stewart to go to a restaurant and sit down and let a man just pay for the meal. Because she has been paying for her meals for so long because she can afford it. She said, I can even buy the restaurant. I have enough wealth to buy the restaurant. But just to sit down and watch a man across the table. He just pays for that meal. And she just be gracious enough to accept it. To come home on a Friday, she said, and meet a man in the house to have a conversation with. Feminism. Some women are rethinking. Let me hear your views. Let me read your views. Charmaine Joefield said, I agree with the second video. She understands God's order when it comes to family and the role of a man. Lamimi said, women wanted to be feminist, but at this point, most are extremist. All right. Yes. Okay. Nice. Thank you. Just share with us, please, what you think. Share with us. Kevin Frederick, good evening to you. Avril Ja, nice having you. Yes, Glenda Allen, all of you great people. Wendy Ann Norton, nice having you. Give us your feedback on the video. So, and that's a true story that I just gave you. I'll give you a story about how this thing works. There's a uniformed couple, which means they work in a uniformed career. And the woman has always felt, I'm independent. I'm working just as much as the man. I don't need to come home and cook for a man. I don't need to come home and take care of a man. So she has always been very stoic about that. But the man likes to cook, so he doesn't mind that. And he did that, he said, for about 8 years. But he said, listen, I think it's not just about the cooking. It's about what it makes us feel. He said, I would love to come home and eat a meal made by my wife. But for 8 years, I've been doing it. And he said, it's not that I want her to serve me. I want to enjoy receiving from her. And she's sitting right there. And she says, you know, the mistake we made is this thing about trying to show how much we don't need a man. She said, I got carried away with that. And now that he has threatened to leave, I recognize how much I really like doing it for him and see the pleasure of him eating. And she says she's willing to now change that and go back to what she knew. That's a true story, my people. True story. Yes? All right. Let me see all these people here, wonderful people who are on. Okay. Nice having you, Emmanuel. Wonderful. Good. Yes. All these wonderful people about giving us their story and so on. I'll give you another one if you think it is. So just remember, share the life. I'll give you another. Only true stories I'm giving you. This is no fake thing. I was in Florida one time. I went to attend one of Les Brown's speaker training conferences in Florida. I met a lady on the workshop, and the lady shared with me her story. We sat down and she said, listen, I've been married 4 times. Now that was strange to me that somebody is married 4 times. He said, yeah, I know that it will shock you. He said, I was married to a man, but I didn't feel I need to cater to a man. So that relationship, it just couldn't work. Because I feel as an independent, successful woman, I don't need to be catering to a man. She left him. He entered a second relationship with another man. He said that also did not work out because of her philosophy on feminism and not wanting to do things to please a man. And she married a third man, and it was the same thing. And she said one day she sat down and said, you know, in all of these relationships, the common denominator in each one of those relationships was me. Only I was in all 3. All 3 was not necessarily in the same relationship. I was in it for all 3. So I wonder if it is me. He said, I sat down and I thought of it. And I said to myself, probably my relationships are not working out. And I keep saying it is because of men. Men don't know what they want. But what if they do know what they want? But maybe I am going about it the wrong way. This is what she's telling me. True story, I'm telling you. She said when she thought through her life, she recognized her issue was her philosophy about men regarding how women should relate to them. She said it was almost as though a man must cater to my needs, make me happy, provide for me, and I must just enjoy all of it. But there must be nothing coming from me to make a man happy and comfortable. And she said she recognized it came from her philosophy of feminism. That's what she said. I'm just telling you. She said, let me show you how much I've changed now. She said, I told her I married 3 times. First, second, third. But I'm married 4 times because I divorced the third man. When I divorced the third man, I started doing the thinking. The man that I married the 4th time is the first man that I left. He said, I went straight back to him, and lucky for me, he was still available and wanted me back. She said, right now, it is going to take me, this is Florida we're talking about it. She said, it is going to take me 1 hour to drive home, warm his food, and put it on the table, and sit down and eat with him, and 1 hour to drive back to this conference. She said, before, I will never do that because I will tell myself he can warm his own food. He can share it himself. He says, but he has never insisted on it. I just had this thing that I'm not going to do it. He said, but I'm doing it now, not because I have to, but because I want to. I just enjoy eating with him. And I will drive 1 hour to do it. And she said that marriage is the best relationship she has ever had. She got 2 bites at the cherry. Many women are rethinking feminism. True story. Let me hear what you all are saying here on the Facebook. Wow, there's so many people talking here that I think I missed so many of you. Charmaine said, some when they have a man, husband, don't let him lead in no aspect. They don't even realize he's the head of the home. Well, you know, some people, the feminists don't want to hear anything about no head of the home. Yeah. I'm a licensed marriage officer, and I was doing a wedding, and the lady asked me in the vows, she does not want me to ask to love and to cherish. She does not want me to ask her that, to repeat that part to her intended husband. To love and to cherish, for rich, for poor, for better, for worse. No. She doesn't mind, she said, if I say for rich, for better, in health, but don't bring the others. I could tell you what happened to that marriage not too long after. Molly, good evening. Alison said, we women must accept the role that God gave us. Society has messed up our senses. Yes, Sandra, Jack, good evening to you. Lamiu said, I'm a professional feminist by choice, but have high respect for men because I have a great father figure. Okay. When I remember back in the day, there were more women at home, and it was the man who went out to work. All right. Right. Sandra said many women think like that. Yep. Yes, Avil, 1 hour she was driving, and she said normally she would never have done that. The man doesn't request it, but she's doing it. She insists on it. In fact, the man told her, it's okay, I'll handle it. And she said, no, I'm coming home. Wait on me. We'll eat together. You understand? All right, let's get the next video lined up. People, yep, I hope you all enjoying this one here, and you all are learning, not just enjoying, but you're learning, because a lot of people, their relationships are messed up because they have swallowed a dogma that may not be working in their interest. Next video.
Real talk. I salute that. Yeah, because we need more of that. You know what I mean? We need more men to stand up and lead the way. Most women are trying to be the leader. That's why you can't find a man. You can't be the king in the house. Fall back and be the queen and let your man lead the way. So I salute you for that.
What does that mean? You can't be a leader? Because a lot of women look at like, no, I could lead in my household. I could do this in my household. What does that mean?
That's not how it's supposed to be, and that's why we bump heads. And I feel like it's a generational thing. And we could talk, we can go real deep on that, and I don't need to start that, but it's a generational curse. And how society have placed our men. And women have to stand up and be the mother and the father and the provider. And so then now you are so bad, you can't be told nothing, that when the right man come, you lose him because you're trying to be the man. I was finna say,
right,
man.
Can we be equal?
Oh, of course. Because at the end of the day, I'm the neck, my man's the head. So he can't make any moves without his wife. You know what I mean? It all works together. But you can't be the head of the house. You got to let the man be the head of the house. But it's a generational thing, and it's what we've been taught. To stand up, be strong, be the, you know what I mean? And a dude come and everything about you is like a man.
Sometimes we have no choice, though.
But that's why I was saying, it's a generational thing, and it's what society has. They do that on purpose.
So you think women have to fall back a little for their man? Is that what you think?
You have to learn how to submit. You can still be a queen. Queen plays a part. the king needs his queen. Mm-hmm. It's certain things that he can't see that we see.
Some people would say the queen is the most valuable piece on the board.
Come on, anybody play chess?
It is, yeah.
Okay. My husband's teaching me how to play chess. Yeah, I mean, it's we work together, but the queen has to sit back and allow her king to be the king.
Now, what about in a situation where a woman makes more money in a relationship?
That's hard. Because that's when jealousy starts coming in. That's when, you know what I mean? And that goes back to communicating and prayer. Mm-hmm. Because if a woman, you know, if you're solid, you know who you are, you know what you bring to the table. A lot of times money breaks up relationships. Money is the root of all evil. It is. So everybody's thinking about the wrong things. Instead of falling back and sitting and saying, let's play chess together. I got you. You got me. Let's go.
But, you know, in a relationship, a lot of times, especially, you know, with so many independent women out there and doing their own thing. And now with the independent woman who's, let's say, a boss, who has their own job, pays their own bills, their own crib, their own car. Now they meet a guy, and it's hard to a woman to, as you would say, submit to a man because they're already in that position. They're already their own boss. Yeah. You know, so what happens in that situation?
Listen, I had to go through it. When I met my husband, like I was taking care of everything. I took care of my whole family. Like it was me, right? So now I'm meeting a man that's coming in and he's like, intelligent, very smart, self-educated. My husband's a felon, but he turned it all around and he owned his own business, right? And so I wasn't used to that. I was a pop-off, quick with the mouth, smart. But it took a man like him to sit me down, look me in my eyes and talk to me like I was supposed to be talked to and say, I'm here now. You don't have to do all of that. Pass it over to me and let me take care of it. But it wasn't easy because I had been doing it for so many years.
And it's hard to trust people. You got to trust yourself to handle things and to allow somebody else when we've been doing things a certain way for so long and having to hold it down. Sometimes it is hard to give that up.
Yeah, it is.
But it's good to know that you still can handle things when need be, you know.
There you go. Yep, that's another video. And this is another woman. So I'm giving you a good balance between persons who are rethinking it from the standpoint of their own religious perspective, but I'm also bringing people who have no idea and no concern about religion. And they themselves saying, I'm rethinking this thing. You see, we don't have to be all things to all men. And this mentality that women are perfect and men are imperfect will never give you a good relationship in this system that we talk about called a relationship. Fantasia is right. Women need to know their role, says Josiane. Josiane also said that she understands the point of view of the woman, but they have taken it too far. That's right. Nobody's saying that women should not try and excel because they have done well over the years. But hello, too far east is west. You can take things too far. So a woman is not perfect. I went to teach a session that a group of persons asked me to come in and talk to some young people. So I spoke with, I attended. Once you talking about having you talk to young people, and so I was happy to accept. I attended. During the interactive session, 2 schoolgirls in the group said that they wanted to ask me a question, and I allowed them. They gave a scenario and asked me to give my opinion on it. They said earlier that same day, a female teacher told them in the class, to the girls in the class, do not study boys. No, nothing wrong with that because my mother used to say that to our sisters, don't study boys. But what she really meant is study your books first. Boys could always come after. So I told them that probably this is what the teacher meant. They said no, because they said, let's tell you what the teacher said. Don't study boys. Boys will not come out to be anything. Only study what you can achieve for yourself and what your other fellow girls will achieve, because boys will be no good to you ever. The girl said they looked at the expression of the boy's face in the class and they said, we felt so sad for them that we wanted to cry. Mr. Stewart, is that fair? And I said, you sure your teacher meant that boys will never come out to be anything? She said, yes. Only girls will ever excel in this world. Well, I still have not swallowed that because I cannot fathom the rationale in a school. You telling children that. And worse yet, in the presence of boys, what do you expect to come out of that? I honestly was at a loss because I don't want to be biased towards the teacher and they are bringing a false story. And so I told them that I am unable to say what might have taken place there. And I did not know that there are other students in that same class, in the session beside these two, who stood up and said, that's exactly what Miss said. We as boys, and a boy got up and said, she said, we as boys will never come out to be anything. The girls should never mess with us, never bother with us. Feminism has gone too far. Edward Jody said, yes, I heard that female teachers say to me she doesn't waste time on boys. Okay, she doesn't waste time in boys. Teachers are actually saying that. I'm not wasting time with boys. I'm not teaching them. Wow. I know it have had people. There's a lady who had asked me to do something to show the progress women have made in society over the years. And she wanted a series of these to come out and wanted me to assist her. I said, it's a great idea because women have really made much progress. And I said, why don't we, seeing that this is once a week, let's do one once a week for the progress men have made over the years. You see? She said no, because I wanted to, is equality we are looking for as women. I said, well, that is why I'm saying put it also once a week for a man to be highlighted and to show a progress of a man, just as they're showing a progress with a man. She said, no, I don't want that. I just want you to just deal with it with only the women who have made progress. And she was adamant about it. Feminism has gone too far. That's the definition of equality. Only cater for the women. That is making them equal. All right. Edward said the school system are failing our boys. Sandra said the moral of boys, those boys must have been very, very low. Of course. Candice Frederick said she hit the nail on the head. Women has to allow the man to lead. However, the man must also be desirous of leading and not dictating, which women will not want to submit to a servant leader who stands as a protector and defender for his family and wife. All right, so Candice is saying that yes, a man must lead, but a man must not dictate. I think that is fair enough and that makes sense. All right. Okay. Let me now go to, is it? AJ said, when we marry wives, don't allow us to make mistakes while learning. Okay. Frederick said, some women claim that they have to be both mother and father. And they believe it, that they are both mother and father in a single parent mother home. And both are being successful at raising their children. But that is a fallacy because a woman can only be a woman or a mother. She cannot impact on her children when she has not designed to impact. Yeah, absolutely. Share the life, people. We really we want you all to be able to get this because a lot of women are hurting. Right. So I agree. You can't dictate. A man must love. That is right. But Mr. Stewart, the education system is now built for girls to succeed. Yes, it is, because boys are hands-on and the system does not give hands-on. It gives a oratory. You talk, lecture, and you listen and you absorb, which is a girl's method of learning. But that's another story by itself. So let me give you a true story. We're talking about where it has gone too far. A friend of mine who was a hairdresser, and as a hairdresser, she was sharing with her clients that her husband came home, surprised her with, said that they put on your clothes, dress up, we're going for dinner. And he took her to an expensive restaurant. The meal was sumptuous. The evening had nice music. She said it was so romantic, and she's sharing it with the girls. So the ladies there started to tell her, don't let man fool you. Anytime you see man behaving nice, so he horning you. Don't let him fool you with that. She said, but they keep harping on her. Every time she raised something that her husband did good, they always say that he's fooling her. So she said, over a period of time of doing this, because this is every week, these women are coming in. She began to doubt herself and say probably she's being naive. So many times she now double checks her husband, accuses him of things, etc. No grounds of it, but just feel that no man could be so nice. So eventually, the relationship broke up and they divorced. One day, I visited her, and as a hairdresser, I walked in and she is combing and plaiting the hair of a man. And when I look at the man, I say, but this is not the girl's husband who she divorced. So after I said, I thought you all are divorced. She said, yes, we were divorced. And I said, but is he here you plaiting? And so on. Say, yeah, he comes every so often and I plait him. And she said, let me tell you, I made a big mistake with those ladies who used to come in and tell me things. She said that she allowed these women who are feminists to cause her to suspect, criticize, accuse her husband unduly because she allowed all of these things to come into her head. But she said when she really looked back, all of those women are either not in a relationship or in a hostile relationship. None of them happy. All of them. Some of them are bordering on haters of men. She said, look, I have now divorced this man. And if I want a bottle of gas, cooking gas, and I call him, he drops what he's doing. He brings it. If he cannot come, he sends a worker to drop it off for me. He said, I was building this house. And he says because he did not want her to live in a circumstance that is not good, that he assisted her to build the house. He wanted her to be secure, burglar-proof the house, everything, and so on. He handles a lot of things. And she said, he is the same man doing the same things before I separated from him and divorced him. And he says, I have some regrets. I allowed this feminist movement to wreck myself of a good marriage with a man that would have made me happy. He said, but we're meeting and we just be nice and cordial to each other. He has moved on, so she respect that, and so on. That's what happening. Dixie answered jealousy. They're jealous of her. That sometimes happens. Yep, that's right. Okay. All right, so let's go to the next video. Thank you very much, all of you all, for your sharing on the Facebook. Let's go to the next video.
Western feminism is a scam. I came across this video yesterday, and a lot of things really rang true for me. My mother was, I would say, a victim of this scam, and so therefore, so was my family. She was taught by the company that she was working at the time. She was pushed into choosing between her family and her career. And at some point, I think you have to be brainwashed as a mother to think that your career and competing with men is so much more important than raising your family. A job will come and go, they don't care about you, but your family, there's nothing more important than family. And any culture that shames women into believing that what they're doing, raising their children and their family, is not the most important thing we can do for our future, that if that's what they're telling us, then wherever that message is coming from, it's a scam.
Wow. This is not coming from men, eh? Women are rethinking feminism. They say it's not working. It's not working for them. They are following along a line of some women who have an agenda. Either they've been hurt and they've been using it against them. Now, I want to repeat for those who joined us late. We, as men, support progressive, industrious, hard-working women. Women have lots of talent. We do not support the excesses where it goes to the point of trying to annihilate men, berate men, emasculate men in the process of feminism. To say that that is what life is about. We say no. So, but sometimes it is such a difficult thing, even for women, to support men, because if a woman supports a man, she is also attacked by other women. Would you believe? We've been in workshops already, and you'll hear some women in the workshop say, I good, so I don't need a man. I happy, better off without a man, and they say all of this inside of it. But as a counselor, sometimes they meet privately now, and they will share how lonely they are, and that they need a man in their life to complete them. And I said, but when there was a workshop, you said you are happier, better off with a man. And here's what these women tell me, true story. Many of them say, because when we are in a forum with these strong women, if you have to say anything in support to a man, it's as though you are betrayed woman. So they admit, it's not what I believe, but I can't say otherwise. But not only women find themselves in that, I've been in sessions where you are outnumbered by women. And I heard a man in one session get up and say, I believe women are just as capable and competent to do anything that a man does. In fact, he continues, I believe that women are better than men in every area. This is a man saying so. A woman is better than a man in every area. Somebody asked, you think that a woman is also stronger than a man in every occasion? He said, yes. Physically stronger. She can do everything a man does and do it better. You know why he's saying that? He's in a forum with women and he feels too shame as a man to say women are better than men in some areas, and in other areas they cannot match up to a man. He cannot say that. That is how it has gotten to know that even a man, more or less, is what is called it whenever you self-hate. That's what that is the term that they use. But the man now operates with self-hate. I'm saying, but that is a sad, sad thing. All right, let's just go back now. Misery loves company, says Charmaine. Diane said in marriage is covenant, the same as commitment. All right. Right. That's a whole new story that you start up with, Diane, whether marriage is covenant and if it is the same as commitment. Lisa said they need to understand that they need a man and not misery. We cannot do everything a man can. All right, and that's a lady saying so. You see? So I heard a man said, a woman in a session, she was leading the session. She said, every weight, her husband is about 6 foot something. She is less than him and so on. And she said, anything the husband can lift up, she can lift up, and whatever it is. And I say, I wonder why she needs to be able to say that. No, I'm sure that there are many things she probably could lift up more than her husband. Yes, I'm sure. But why is it you need to say that? Is it that you're trying to show that there's no area your husband? And I wonder how happy that husband is. Edward Jones said he was in that session. All right. Kenneth, there are pockets of women that love to bash men. The men party, the bashers. Yeah, boy. All right. Sid, do we have another video? I lost track now. One more. Okay, let's take this final video here because there are so many that women are now recanting on this feminism thing. It is amazing. Yes, go ahead.
Where is justice for the man who was falsely accused of raping a woman? And because of this accusation, he loses his college scholarship and is branded with the inescapable title of rapist. Of course, rape is a big deal, and all the men's rights activists I met agreed it is a horrible thing to have happened to anyone. Men are far more likely to lose their child in a custody battle. Men are roughly 78% of all suicides throughout the world. Paternity fraud uniquely affects men. The United States Selective Service, in the case of a draft, still uniquely affects men. Workplace deaths, disproportionately men. War deaths, overwhelmingly men. Suicide, overwhelmingly men. Sentencing disparity, life expectancy, child custody, child support, false rape allegations, criminal court bias, misandry, failure to launch, boys falling behind in education, homelessness, veterans issues, infant male genital mutilation, lack of parental choice once a child is conceived, lack of resources for male victims of domestic violence. These are men's issues. And most people can't name one. I was a feminist of about 10 years, and I thought I was well-versed on gender equality issues.
Ooh, la-di-da-da. Women rethinking feminism. I didn't make up these stories there. I just saw so many of them and I'm saying, wow, wow, wow. Let me tell you, feminism in its current form, not the pure, genuine intent that for feminism was started, but in its current form, has done worse for the black families than any other race. Think about it. The hostility, the anger, the boast that you see coming out, and the disconnect really has affected more black people than anything else. And I have another true story. I have so many true stories to give you. So there's this lady who told me that, she's leaving her husband because now I guess she's become very independent. She's very feminist now. So she said, no, because I really don't need a man. I am happy without a man. In fact, I'm better off without a man, she said. And she was leaving him. They weren't married, yeah, but they were in a relationship. But this was her position. And I tried my best to show her the need, because yes, the man has faults, but are the faults so reprehensible that the relationship is irreconcilable? And it had nothing to do with it not being irreconcilable. It has to do with, I don't want no man to think I need him. So she left him. Sometime long after I saw the lady, I said, I haven't seen you for a long time. How things going? The sheepishly dropped she head. She said, Mr. Stewart, a shame, you know. I said, what happened? Why you said a shame? As you remember, you were trying to tell me about the guy I was with that, give it a shot and, try to look at what are the possibilities of it working, and I told her not doing it. She said, that day I saw you walking through the mall and I hide from you. I said, why did you hide? She said, because by then I realized I was being foolish. The feminism thing is now beginning to wear off of her head. And she said, because I turned around and married the same man and I was too ashamed to tell you, I went back to the man and married him. Because I was so strong in telling you I didn't need a man. That's how it has gotten. So a number of people not going to show love and affection and show support and commitment. A lot of women don't want to do it only because they've got to live up to a dogma. Feminism has gone too far and some women are rethinking it. That was a true story. People, we have lots of work to do. All right, Lyndon said, especially the false rage. Yeah. Because I think there's Tyler Perry had a thing, something of a black woman, the anger of a black woman or something. So, what you make it so vicious because of this? Independent, own thinker. I have everything together. I have my education. I have my possessions. Yeah. Wow. 10 o'clock already. I personally know that there are men who are falsely accused for a lot of stuff. That's a whole new story there, Charmaine. What? You're making joke. Okay. Wow. Stephen Clark said, I think there is no need for feminism as it has already achieved its purpose. Okay. The Diary of a Mad Black Woman. That's right. Thank you. Lisa said, I did a program on the feminist movement and we are brainwashed to believe that men are bad news in general. It was designed to empower women who have been disadvantaged by the entire philosophy was hijacked, undermined, and changed by persons with their own agenda. That is right. It started off with good intent by sincere people who wanted to help women to have a footing planted in society with recognition. That was the original intent. And that was a laudable, noble intent. And as she said, it was hijacked by persons who had their own agenda and their agenda against men. But some still on the bandwagon and afraid to jump off. Yes. But I hope that today, that a number of people are going to start the healing of the genders and start saying, let's work together. Men have value. Women have value. Men and women are different, but they bring value in their own way and in their own space. Yes, sir. Just remember the courses that we have coming up for November. We have a course, How to Rewire Your Brain. Let's just put that up again. That is on the 5th of November. We have How to Rewire Your Brain, and it's $150 TT, $30 US. You got to go to the website www.michaelitstewart and register, or just call me at 868-688-5363. Also on the 12th of November, there's the other course that we have coming up is the psychological effects of being single for too long. Those who have studied it have recognized that people who have been single for too long begin to have certain attitudes and behaviors that might be inimical to them settling down properly in a new relationship. You ever catch somebody who had been single for so long that they're very irritable about so many things, or they don't want to shift gears, they don't want to change. This is how I've been doing it for years, so you've got to fit into my thing. They are not into compromising and so on, and it's beginning to affect them. Right? So let's talk about that. Go to the website www.michael80short.com or give me a call, and let's make sure that you are part of that program. We look forward to seeing you next week, Thursday, same time, 9 o'clock. For Mike at Night. Let's give the poll. The poll said, do you believe that feminism, while good, has nevertheless gone too far? 92% of people said, yes, it has gone too far. It was good, but it has gone too far. 8% said, no. I want to thank Sydney Jones for a marvelous job every Thursday for what he's doing here for us. And I want you all to be able to give him your own round of applause. Young man, yes, who's coming up. My name is Michael Stewart, and this is Mike at Night. You all have a wonderful evening now. Love you all.
Don't let the weather of the day dictate your pace. I stayed cool every time I got into my vehicle, and you can too. At Tow School Center of 31 Gaskin Bay Road, Bonaccord, they specialize in auto air conditioning with parts and services catering to your car's needs. Call and ask for tows at 660-8777 or 788-3535. Tow School Center, where a comfortable ride is a cool ride.
Hey, if you are having difficulty in your marriage or in your relationship and you need someone to speak with privately and confidentially, then call me, Michael Stewart. We can do face-to-face or virtually any part of the world. If your relationship is worth saving, call 868-688-5363 or go to my website www.michael80stewart.com. Don't wait until it's too late. Get counseling.